You know, I haven't done one of these videos in a while, and the last time I did, I ended up sitting for about 25, 26 minutes speaking about various things about wrestling, and part of the reason I haven't done one since I did the last one is, well, because I have a life, really. So, first, there are a few things I want to say. I didn't get very many comments on my last video, and I'm okay with that. I can deal with that. You know, I don't live off of comments. But the comment I did get stated that I should not be making fun of Mark Henry and his speaking skills because I, quote, stutter like a retard, unquote. Yeah, well, I don't get paid to talk to millions of people for every night that I'm on television. Mark Henry does. I don't get paid to go out on national and international television and speak. That's not my job. It's Mark Henry's. He doesn't do it very well, then he's not doing his job. And the guy can't work very well either. I mean, the guy tries throwing himself around like no one who is 400 pounds should be doing. And because that's how people get injured. And he has a history of either injuring or aggravating the injuries of other superstars. Which is why he should be nowhere near the main event. In fact, he shouldn't be nowhere near professional wrestling at all, in my opinion. That being said, I'm going to give y'all a little spoiler alert, but heck, since y'all are on YouTube and y'all are wrestling fans, y'all probably know this already anyway. And if you don't, turn off the video now and don't complain to me about the spoilers because I'm warning you. I'm giving you spoilers right here. It turns out that Edge is injured. So that means the World Heavyweight Championship is going to be vacated, and they're going to have a match to determine who the World Heavyweight Championship will be. Now, the latest news is that they're thinking about going with the Great Khali. Now, y'all who watched my last video know how I feel about the Great Khali. And anyone who has contacted me through IM or has been on wrestling forums with me, y'all know how I feel about the Great Khali. I hate his guts. Not as a person, but as a wrestler. Why? Because he can't speak. He can't work. His chops don't even look like they hit. It looks like he's knocking over someone with air. And now they're going to give him the World Heavyweight Championship at least until the Great American Bash. Well, shock surprise, looks like Great American Bash is going to continue the tradition of being the absolute crappiest pay-per-view that WWE could possibly put on in a year. So, it's going to be Khali and Batista for the WWE Championship, and granted, Batista will probably win the title back, but still, I mean, the people who are going to be involved with that match for the WWE Championship with Edge being injured were Matt Hardy, Kane, Mark Henry, and Khali. Well, maybe not Kane. Let me check my info here real quick. But, you know, Matt Hardy has been working his butt off for so long. This is probably the closest he is ever going to get to the World Heavyweight Championship, and unfortunately, you know, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that he wouldn't be involved with it because he's already in the U.S. title match at the Great American Bash. And that's, he might get it one of these days, but not anytime soon. I wouldn't hold your breath, Hardy Marks. That being said, the other two people involved, Mark Henry and the Great Khali, neither one of them, as I said, should be anywhere near the main event. None of them should be anywhere near the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title or even, God knows, the ECW World title, which is probably the least credible title in WWE, unless you count the Divas division or the Cruiserweight division, which they hardly ever do anything good with. And yet, they're the only two people who could possibly win the heavyweight title unless they brought Rey Mysterio back from his injury, but I think he's still recuperating from that. Besides, God knows, he's probably got some psychological issues still to deal with after the recent death of a very good friend of his, Chris Benoit. So, really, in a situation where it would have been the lesser of two evils, I actually probably would have said, you know what, neither one of these evils are lesser. They're both absolutely horrible. Let's forget about the U.S. Championship match, or better yet, give MVP some good exposure. Make it the main event. Make it champion versus champion. And give the World Heavyweight title to Matt Hardy. But instead, they picked the worst possible person out of the two, Henry and Khali, that they could have. So they basically went from unmitigated disaster, which it would have been if it were Batista and Henry, to pretty much every deceased wrestler from the last 50 years rolling over in their graves simultaneously. Someone please check the seismograph. It's horrible. Then again, it's Great American Bash. What do you expect? Although personally, if they're going to be, quote, healing from the events surrounding Chris Benoit and Nancy Benoit and his son Daniel's death, they should be trying to put on some matches that fans will want to watch. Not putting on crap that nobody's going to watch and be wondering, yeah, I know he killed his wife and his son, but damn, Benoit was a good wrestler. Why can't we have guys like him in the main event now?